Hey boardies, welcome to AmassGames. My name is Simon. Today we're doing our setup, play and review for the game Sagrada. This is in 4K, and if you are watching this as a short, please make sure you hit through to YouTube to watch the full video. Now, over there you'll also find things such as occasionally competitions, but they are time sensitive. Please also head through to Instagram, over 2,900 posts presently. Please follow along, let's get it to 3,000. Aside from that, head over to Facebook to join the discussion there. And there are obviously Linktree and other things you can join as well as supporting the channel via Patreon. Now, you will need one of these markers, so if you get more than 50 points, which most people tend to do, so leave that off to one side as when we need that. You're going to have various tiles here, these glass containers, these little small things. These are known as favour tokens. So we have a score marker, we have favour tokens. Let me just get out a few of those. For the time being, I am using a non-matte today underneath here. If you want to check out my accessories playlist, please do so. So you will need this. This represents not only the round tracker, but also when you wish to score, you can score it as well. So you go along, flip it over when you reach 50. Okay, so that's what we're going to need. So we are playing this over 10 rounds, regardless of the number of players. This is a 1 to 4 player game, but I do have the expansion. So if you want to see that, make sure again you hit the subscribe button and notification bell. So aside from that, it is the Sagrada Familia. It's taken about 250 years to construct. You may have seen my unboxing, teaser, trailer, preview, overview video. And in relation to that, you'll know that the bags that come with all the dice, which you do not need once they're in this bag, small plastic bags are excellent for other games, such as if you've checked out my video for Western Legends. Until I get an insert, that'd be very handy. Also check out my various playlists for inserts. I've also sleeved the cards in here, so check out my sleeved playlist as well. So as you can see, I've sleeved all these cards just so everything's unique. So let's talk about these cards. Aim of the game is to get the most points. We want to be the most artisanal basically person relating to drafting dice in this pretty abstract strategy game. So there's various 5 different colours. You want to try and score one of them, and the total pip value is going to be added to your score. So let's shuffle up and give myself one of these. Let's take this one. I may well do a solo playthrough. Everyone else will take one as well, so will be one spare obviously in a 1 to 4 player game. They're going back in the box. Interesting to see how that's going to work with a 5 player one. Who is going to be the Master Artisan? Well, they can get this card at the end, which is quite cool leftover card, and it tells you a bit about how you can follow along and tweet pictures and stuff like that. So that's really cool. Like the additional component going on there. So we've got some cards here. These are also going to be public cards. So there'll be 3 available, so each game is going to be different. So I'm just going to grab 3 and play these out. So these are extra things you can be scoring. You can score them all multiple times. I'll explain what that means in a second. So here are our 3 public scoring cards. Again, like I said, it is in 4K, so you can zoom in. The rest is going to go back in the box. Now, I do remember watching stuff to do with this. You're also going to randomly shuffle and hand out 2 cards. So let's just take the first 2 that come along. This is difficulty 3 to 6. So that's an easy one. That's a harder one. That is the hardest. And over here, we've got a fairly hard one as well. Of course, you can get 4s as well. Let's grab an easy one initially and slot it in. So again, like I said, the Canadian designers, Daryl Andrews, and I think it was Adrian Adonescu are behind this. And it was Floodgate's idea to actually have this like slotting in effect. So these all go back in the box as well. Pick one, keep one, obviously keep the others and chuck it away. That's our private card. No one's going to see that. So depending on the number of players, so you're going to chuck out some dice. So if we're going to play this as a 2, well, obviously we're only chucking out 5 dice. So if you want to see a dice distancing video, whether or not you need a dice tray, check it out as well. I might actually even turn off this other lamp. Unfortunately, I broke one this morning, so we do have a shadow going on. Apologies for that. Going some fairly natural lighting. So these are the 5 dice that I can pick if I happen to go first. So I pick a die, someone else goes second. If it's a 2-player game, then they're taking again. I take the last one. The final die just goes up here, which might be used for a favour card, which we'll talk about in a second. Okay, so these are our options. So what can we do with these dice? You can place them any way you like. Initially, though, it must be against an edge. So right around the edge, I can place any of these dice. If there's a colour, I've got to place a certain colour in it. If there's a certain value, like a 2, I've also got to place a value in there as well. So right now I've got a 3 down here, so I could place this. Obviously right now with that white, I can play anything I like. But remember, I do want to try and score yellow as well. So 3 points isn't too bad. Maybe I want to wait. Maybe I go in the corner on my next turn. So imagine they've taken a die. It's my turn again. I can place another die. So they've taken an extra die. I've got 2 left. So what can I do? Well, I can play adjacent, but I cannot in this instance because you can never have adjacent dice. That is orthogonally adjacent, so with an edge. if it's the same value. So you can't place a 3, and imagine I played a red 3 over here, then I can't actually play a yellow 3. Even though it's yellow, I can't place it because it's the same value, and I can't place a red 1 because you can't place colours next to each other's adjacently. But what I can do, again, this is where you might want to hate draft someone, stop someone from taking what they can legally place, and if you can't place it, you can't place it. You can place it diagonally. So you can always place diagonally, but you don't have to worry about the rule relating to colour or number. So how are we going to continue? Well, we do know at the end of the game, I'll get 3 points. We've also got some bonuses going on here. So if you have 1 for each colour, so basically each set, so at the end of the game, if you've got 3 yellows, loads of greens and all the others, you'll get a total of 12 points. 3 times the number of sets, okay? So 3 sets times by 4. Over here, what you can get here is 5 points for each different unique colour. So if I happen to have this, and this, and this, well, those are all unique, so I get 5 points. I could score that a total of 5 times. That's a total of 25 points up for grabs. Over here, we have row shade variety. What that represents is just you can't have repeating values. So as long as I've got them all unique, so I could do this here, I could have this here. In fact, I could have the 5 here. If I've had, I don't know, a 1 here, that would not score me 5 points. But if I happen to have a modifier, so we'll talk about that in a second, then if I happen to have, well, I couldn't have a 6 there, because it's the wrong color. But just imagine I happen to have, let's just say that was a 3, actually, let's say that was a 5, a 3, and a 4, then that's fine. No repeating values, 5 points for that one. Now the last thing that we'll be chucking out, which I hadn't put out yet, are tool cards. So randomly chucking out 3 tool cards. So again, they're all different ones here. But these are various things you can do. This is what your favour tokens are for. Now, how many favour tokens do you have? It's equal to the difficulty that you've picked. So I picked difficulty 3, so I get 3. If I'd chosen a harder difficulty, not only maybe could I score more, possibly, maybe not, I get more favour tokens. So you've taken those as well. What can you do with these? Well, after you take your first turn, you can take a second turn. So you can take back-to-back turns, placing one of your favour tokens on them. I'll talk to you why you may not want to use them in a second. Lastly, if you want to go here after someone else has already been here, you're going to have to pay 2. So you might want to jump on these earlier. Over here, move any one die in your window, ignoring value restrictions. So you can place anything you like, not worrying about what's underneath here. Over here, re-roll dice in the draft pool, so you can do that. Other things let you modify dice up or down by 1. So why do you not want to use favour tokens? They're worth 1 point at the end of the game. So let's talk about scoring now. Like I said, it's a very easy, swift rulebook. I won't be talking about solo plays right now. That'll be in that solo playthrough, which I hope to do. So let's talk about scoring. What we can do on your turn, to also let you know, is publish objective cards. So how many points do you score for these? Then reveal your private card. How many favour tokens do you have left over? And any space that you have left in your window, you're also losing a point. So ideally you want to try and maximise and place everything out. Okay, I think we've covered everything in the game now because it's always 10 rounds. What do I think of the game? Initially I found it a bit too dry. But actually my rating has gone up. Again, I gave it a 5 or a 6 initially. My average rating is 6.36, although I'm now giving it close to a 7.5, just because it is very pretty. It doesn't take too long. It is longer with more players. So look to see how different it is going to be with a 5 to 6 player expansion, which I also have. And let's see how obviously going through these cards, try and make that all unique each time. I did play with these exact cards last time round. Great components quality. I may well get an insert for this as well. Well, it does work fairly effectively too. There are the videos in the Floodgate Games playlist. So this is a company I've got games from before. In fact, Winning Order Direct, I've even got some extra mini expansions and stuff for some other games too. So may well look to get more stuff. There is actually a space, I've noticed, for 3 of your favourite tokens, but only 3. So if you did have more, you can't use it. And I'm not sure if that is needing to stay on here too. Very pretty, like I said. I like the dice, small dice, and yeah, like I said, lots of variety going on here. Any questions, please let me know in the comments. YouTube are best. And I do know that there is a legacy version, which I know some people found quite pricey. So look forward to seeing how good that may well be if I get a chance. But that is the game Sagrada. This is probably going to go in the abstract strategy playlist as well, just because of, I think, what's going on with it. Like I said, nice big bag. That's effective. I recommend a dice tray though, just I think it's just useful in that respect. These glass beads are fine. I can see why they may have gone with glass. Obviously being a stained glass window, I don't think it's essential. I previously mentioned that I like the fact that this did flip over. Sometimes you are actually interacting with dice on here, such as if a die happens to be on here, then you can do something too. So lots to enjoy. I know there are lots of expansions for it. So far I haven't needed to play it so much that I've ever craved an expansion, to be honest. And like I said, each of these names are unique as well. So what do we have under here? We happen to have Sun Catcher. So I like the little extra flair they've done there too. 4 different colours, it makes no difference. I look forward to trying them all out though, just because it's something I can do. And everything does fit well in here so far as well. So, yep, lots of interest. This has done very well. In fact, check out my top 50 most played games, or logged plays at least. People who don't log plays, including myself, because it's always been on there. So there we go, that has been Sagrada. I hope you found this of interest. Please do let me know again as always. Speak to you soon. For now, back to the table.